Hello, and welcome to episode 3 of PodClass President. I am Ben Brainerd, your loving and gracious host. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for checking us out. If you've been here before, welcome back. For those of you that don't know, this is a school-centric storytelling podcast. I have a couple friends in the studio every week to share their weirdest, wackiest, wildest school stories from their time in school or class or any formal learning environment. Would you believe that episode 3 is actually the first episode I recorded? Because it is. Why I did it this way, I don't know. But it is. I'm very excited about this one. It feels like this is the time where things started to get normal. Who knows about normal, if we're being honest. Anyway, I'm on tour. Come see me live. I got some Florida shows in December. So December 13th, I'll be in Panama City Beach at Captain Anderson's Event Center. December 20th, I'll be in Jacksonville, Florida at the Comedy Zone. And then December 22nd and 23rd, I'll be at the Orlando Improv. And then I'm taking a little break, but I'll be coming to Texas in February, Austin, Dallas, and also Oklahoma, OKC, and Tulsa. That's all going to be in February of 2024. So check those out. Make sure you sign up for my email list if you want to get emailed when all those tickets and stuff go on sale. Without further ado, let's hop in the studio and meet our guest today. Today with me, I have a voice actor in a new Disney series. Very exciting. She's got 500,000 followers across all social media, and she earned the title of BuzzFeed's Very Real Comedian of the Year. So thank you for joining me, Karalynn Dunton.
Hi.
And also with her on the couch, we have a guy I'm very happy to have in the studio. He's very funny. He's got over 300,000 followers on TikTok, almost 500,000 everywhere else. Please welcome Colin Stanley. Thank you for joining.
Hi.
As you guys probably don't know, because my podcast isn't officially out at the time of recording this, I always start with a segment that I like to call, Do You Know Who My Mascot Is? And this segment basically is me trying to find any school mascot that I think my high school mascot could beat in a fight. We're 0 for 2 right now. Do you think your high school mascots could beat a sand crab?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's what was your mascot?
We're the Tigers. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not a lot of mascots that a tiger can't beat.
That's
maybe 1 or 2 out there. But.
Fair, but you ever seen a tiger get his toe pinched? Because it hurts a little bit for a second.
How big is a sand crab?
Very small.
Oh, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. They're the tiny ones that like dig into the sand.
There's not even like
Watch out.
ferocious in the crab kingdom.
We'll pinch your toes.
Because my mascot was a cardinal.
Yeah.
And I feel like birds
are known predators of crabs.
Crabs,
All
yeah.
crabs, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm most confused about mine because like cardinals, bright red cardinals don't exist in California.
So do they even exist at all?
Tigers do exist in Minneapolis. But,
Wait, hold on. No.
You don't see them very often.
Now that you said that out loud, fair point. Cardinal is a pretty normal bird to have around. And yet,
Not in Santa Cruz.
they picked a super normal animal but not one that is in your area. Cool.
Nope.
At least tiger is like, yeah, man, not here.
Yeah.
There's one in a gas station in Louisiana you can stop by and see. But I'm sorry, did I make a reference to a thing you guys don't know about?
A tiger in a
Gas station.
gas
in Louisiana.
station?
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably a bad situation for
no,
that
it's not
tiger.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not great. And I don't know if he's still there, but
Nobody's done anything about it.
they try. But what are you going to do? There's a tiger in a gas station. If you go in there, you die. Either the tiger or the gas station.
Oh, so this isn't like a pet, like a tiger took over.
Oh,
a gas
no. He's in a cage. It's not great.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. It's
Yeah.
not a fun note to
The
start
way that you said that really made it sounded like the tiger had taken over the gas station and was
on.
like,
Way more fun of a situation.
yeah,
But,
that's fine.
yep,
but
not true.
Yeah.
Not true at all. Now, I don't know what the tiger did. I'm assuming the tiger just existed and somebody threw it into a cage. But it is more fun and makes me feel better if I try to believe the tiger was just a really mean tiger. and it's being punished.
Yeah.
Probably, we should get off this topic.
I'm really sad.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he likes it. He's happy to be there, Kara. And anyway, let's talk about stories. We're going into school stories. All right, Colin, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Much like the tiger in a gas station in Louisiana, you got in trouble.
I did. Yeah. Yeah. This is the story of my first time ever getting in trouble.
Period. Not even just in school. Just period.
Well, there were the first time in my memory, because I know that when I was in preschool, I did have a history of biting that was
that you never got fixed.
It was on record.
Yeah, you never got that fixed, did you?
I've learned to tone it down.
Now we just nibble.
There's a time and a place for everything.
Yeah. But no, I was a very good child, a good boy. I was a delight to have in class for the most part.
Is that like a thing your teacher said, or is that a thing you
That's
just
the thing
like
my
historians
teacher said.
to remember you as?
Yes, that is how I would like to be remembered, as
A good boy.
a good boy who never did wrong. And I prided myself on how good I was and following the rules and was very
I think
polite.
there's a psychological diagnosis in that, but we don't have
we don't have to get
so,
into that, and I would prefer it if we didn't.
Sure.
Yeah.
I would
Wrong
prefer
couch. My
to
apologies.
psychoanalyze Colin for the next hour, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, I was very good. But my one weakness was my older sister, who had the power of just getting under my skin.
As older siblings do. I thought you were going to say like kryptonite.
No, I'm not.
This is way worse.
Kal-El.
Way more achievable for someone who's trying to get under your skin.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you have a sibling who's ever literally tried to burrow underneath your skin while you're sleeping?
I've had a sibling that tried to dye my hair red in the middle of my sleep. I woke up and my hair was sticky and my bed sheets were red, and I was like, what is this? And
that's not the ideal way to wake up.
No, I was very confused and also like 8. And so I was like, I don't know what's happening. And afterward, he was like, we wanted to see if you would believe that like you were just waking up in a pool of your own blood. And I was like, what prank are you pulling on an 8-year-old? Why is that? Anyway, it's not about me. We're talking about Colin's sister, who I am not related to at all.
Yeah. So I went to a school called Longfellow Elementary School. It's a public school in Minneapolis.
Okay.
Lovely little public school, K through 2. So very.
That's a super normal range.
Super normal range. Very, just little kids. We were the bees. That was our mascot, the bees, and we had to be kind and be wise and be gentle, and
because A+ was taken, I guess, by the school that had K through 5.
But this guy be biting.
Yeah. Well, it was. Yeah, I'd be biting.
C is for cookie, and B is for Colin's biting.
Yeah. But our principal was Dr. B, and she made us the bees.
Her real name, Doctor.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some last name was started with B.
Yeah.
And then she just went by Dr. B.
That opens up a whole can of worms about the nameology of the school. The principal just came in and changed the mascot to the first letter of her last name.
Yeah.
Did that happen every time a new principal came?
I don't know, but I know that the school had kind of a rough history, and then she came in and like totally revamped it. And like this
released
really
a bunch of bees
school.
everywhere.
Yeah. But the bees were a part of the learning process.
Absolutely. You got to learn to avoid them, I think.
Yeah.
You got to learn to grow up at some point.
You got to learn who's allergic to them, for sure. And how to use an EpiPen. There's a lot.
This was the 90s, and
right.
No one had allergies.
Allergies weren't real.
They didn't come around yet.
So what grade were you in out of the K, the 1, the 2, or the 3?
I believe I was in first grade when this happened. The main thing is I had this favorite salad dressing in the school cafeteria.
As you do.
Was a type of ranch. It was kind of an orange-tinged ranch dressing.
Oh, no. None of this
delicious.
is an okay sentence. You know that, right?
Yeah, but...
How old? You were 6, 7?
Probably 6 or 7.
Yeah, and you had a favorite ranch, even without the rest of the context.
This is the Midwest, sir.
Okay, you know what? Clears up everything.
Minnesota.
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Oofda, pasta ranch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. The
Oh, jeez.
Don't you know?
yeah, that's good stuff. But, yeah, I had a favorite dressing. It was this ranch, and I remember I brought it up in conversation, as you do
When you're
When you're in the
7,
Midwest.
in the Midwest at dinner,
Yeah.
the dinner table. And
You squeeze it right in there between the juicy Lucy's. You go,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
we're having juicies for dinner. Okay, we're getting the ranch and the salads for everything's a salad if you mix it. So
oh yeah, yeah, a little hot dish,
a lot.
little tater hot dish.
Sorry, Kara, that was
I'm from California.
California. Yeah. Anyway.
So you're in first grade. You have a favorite orange tinted ranch in the
orange-tinted
school
ranch
cafeteria.
dressing. Yep. Mm-hmm. And I brought it up at the dinner table, and I said, "This is my favorite ranch dressing." And my sister decided to gaslight me, and said, "There's no such thing. There's no ranch dressing. They don't have ranch at the school cafeteria."
Oh, well, that upped it. If she had just
Yeah.
said there's no orange ranch, I'd be like, I'm inclined to believe the older sister. But if she, no ranch at the school, what kind of school is this?
In Minnesota?
Yeah, in Minnesota, right? Yeah. And so I was
How
like,
old is your sister?
she's 2 years older than me.
Okay, so yeah, old enough to know that she's doing the correct thing here.
Yeah. And so I decided to prove her wrong, and I set out to do that. In a 2-part plan was first to take an extra ranch dressing from the cafeteria,
Pretty normal so far.
and then stick it in my pocket
Okay.
and get it home.
All right,
So
Napoleon
it had to
Dynamite.
be in my pocket for the rest of the day after
Yep.
lunch.
Did you not have a backpack?
Probably, but they were in like a cubby hole or something like that.
And how were the ranches packaged?
They were just in the standard like little
Like a
little
Yeah,
squeezable packet.
okay.
Which was the problem.
Yeah, no,
because-
I spotted the problem already.
Yeah, so during story time, when we were being read a story by our lovely teacher Pat, who was amazing and was a big fan of mine because I was a delight to have in class. which
Yeah,
I've
the
said
brightest
already.
bee.
A good boy.
Yeah. I was sitting there, and they didn't have fidget spinners at the time. But this
What a
round packet
world.
No.
made for a perfect fidget toy.
A little squeeze, a
little squeezable,
squeezy.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
you
so
got
I was
all
sitting
the
there.
senses in there: the smell, the feel, the noise.
Yeah, it was great. And so I had my hand in my pocket with this little bit of dressing, and I was just sort of squeezing it back and forth like
Yeah.
that in class, listening to the story, enjoying myself. And
Everything
then
makes sense.
it exploded. And I don't know, I think maybe they put a gallon of this ranch dressing inside of this one little packet because it covered the entire class.
Well, it was back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So they would actually pack bags. They wouldn't do half of it and then the other half with air.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was a highly pressurized little packet of ranch dressing.
That a 6-year-old is playing with during story.
Yeah, very dangerous. Covered my sweatpants. I only wore sweatpants at the time. I hated jeans. I didn't like the way they felt on my legs, so I wore sweatpants.
And this was in Minneapolis, so it was cold. You had to wear.
You gotta wear some sweats, and so coated my pants in ranch dressing. Coated every book in the entire little
my
bookshelf.
God.
Covered the class. And it was pretty obvious that I was the source of the problem.
You were going with
Because
it.
I was the one
Down
with
the
the
pant
pants
leg.
covered
Yeah.
in
In
orange tinted ranch.
And you're holding a packet. Still.
Yes, yeah.
A mostly empty packet at this point, I assume.
I was caught ranch-handed.
I don't-
And
and it was orange tinted. So
it was orange tinted.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy to spot. And so I was put in timeout for doing this.
Made to sit in your own ranch.
I
Really.
was made to sit in my own ranch. I had to smell like this ranch dressing for the rest of the day.
Now, okay, here's a question that probably has nothing to do with the story, but
Mm-hmm.
it's important to me. The orange tint, unnatural. Was the smell also orange
it was a
tinted?
very no, it didn't smell like oranges.
Okay.
It smelled like ranch, but it
Okay.
was just very pungent smell.
And you just had to sit. They didn't give you like a change of
There wasn't
pajama
a change
pants?
of clothes available to me. I kind of like wiped up with those paper towels that they have that
Yeah.
are not very absorbent.
well, especially not built for ranch.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's thick.
And and then we I went to my friend Michael Zychek's house afterwards.
Shout out Michael Zychek.
Shout out Michael Zychek.
Shout out Michael Zychek.
My best friend. I was going to his house to play afterwards, so I didn't go home directly. And his mom washed my clothes for me. So when I got home,
Your new plan was to hide it from your parents.
yes, I did not tell them that I got in trouble because I was a
Absolutely.
delight
Why
to have
would
in
you?
class, and I
Yeah,
didn't want to
you were a
ruin that
delight.
You were
reputation.
the best boy.
History will remember you as a good kid, and your parents must as well.
Yes, yeah. I was terrified of the consequences that would happen
What
if
if
they found out.
What if they just make you eat a whole pack of ranch?
I don't think my parents would be that cruel to.
They wouldn't like give you the Matilda treatment.
No.
Oh, you like ranch, do you? We'll see how much you like ranch after this.
Yeah,
Finish the whole bowl.
but it was
Just a dip packet of ranch.
yeah.
It's the most Midwest thing I can think of, actually, is a dip pack of ranch.
Yeah. Just get that in there, and
Oh yeah, no, it's just my it's my ranch pack, you know. Oh, do you want some?
So it was. So I didn't tell my parents anything about it. Got home and I got away clean.
School didn't call.
School didn't call, but then a month later, my dad ran into my teacher picking me up.
And was like,
And
hey,
she-
Miss Pat, remember like a month
Yeah.
ago, my son came home smelling weirdly of
No.
ranch.
Pat was the one.
Pat
brought it up.
instigated.
Because she wanted to make sure that I came forward
my
about it and wanted to address the situation because they created a new school policy that you couldn't remove salad dressing packets from the cafeteria after.
So history may remember you as a good egg, but this school is going to remember you as the reason kids are not allowed to have ranch in the cafeteria.
I know, right?
But here's the downfall. Because you had to hide it from your parents, that means you also had to hide it from your sister.
Yeah.
So you didn't even
I
get...
wouldn't let my sister win in that situation.
Did you bring her your pajamas? No, those got washed. How
Yeah.
did you...
Yeah.
Did you
I just was like, I'm just gonna not ever talk about this ever again.
kind of feels like she won.
She won. Yeah. No, she was
I think we should all go back to this school.
Yeah, is it still there?
Longfellow? Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
still
yeah.
K through 2?
I don't know. They've changed it around a
May
little
have dropped a couple grades, K through 1 now.
Yeah, I think they've
Just
shifted
K.
it around.
Just K.
Yeah.
How you guys doing, K?
That's K. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
From B to K.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was the first time I got in trouble, and never again. Never again.
What's your relationship like with ranch?
With ranch? I love ranch.
Okay.
I don't hold it against ranch. What happened?
Shouldn't hold it against your pants either.
No. Although I rarely wear sweatpants anymore.
So that was where the trauma comes.
Yeah, and then I was like, I need to put away childish things and grow up and wear hard pants from now.
I like how those are the two forms, sweat or hard.
No, there was one time Colin and I were working on something and I was like, I'm not gonna wear jeans. I'm gonna wear my leggings, but I gotta make sure he knows. So like maybe I'll just convince him to like be a little more casual.
I don't have casual pants.
And I was like, okay, but I'm gonna be wearing like my exercise pants. So like you don't have to like,
Dress
fully
up.
dress up.
Okay. So
And his response was like, you know what I'm going to wear? And he texted me in all capital letters, jeans. And I was like, why?
First of all, Midwest tuxedo. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, second of all, I think that's as casual as you get.
Yeah, jeans are
Jeans?
casual.
Jeans are casual.
Not in LA.
They're cash.
Yeah, okay.
This is Los Angeles. We're like
You know that's
a yoga
a weird
set is
thing, right?
casual.
Mm-hmm.
And then jeans are like,
You can get more casual than jeans, but we're not going to walk around naked. Are you crazy?
that's what like yoga sets are for.
No, those are for yoga. That's in the name.
Not here.
It's not like you can do jeans when you wear jeans. You're not Ken. Your job isn't Jean.
Well, speak for yourself.
I have a small question.
Yes.
And then we're going to hop into your weird story.
Yeah.
Why did you need Colin to know that you were wearing leggings and not jeans?
So I wouldn't feel overdressed.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be like
I was hoping that was the very normal answer.
What?
I don't know. You have weird things, Kara.
Yeah.
Sometimes
I have weird requirements of my friends. I need to know what they look like and what they're wearing before I
Colin,
engage with them.
You're a bizarre guy. I love that about you. But at no point was I like, this is a Colin bizarre thing. Kara, every time you talk about yoga, you have to stop and be like, hey, you know what? I do hot yoga. No way.
Well, because I never talk about it.
Remember-
so I don't know if you guys even know, but I actually do hot yoga.
Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
I don't know.
And you thought
Wait,
that
you
I
do
was
hot
being.
yoga?
Have I never not mentioned this to you before?
You've never, not once.
That's so
How
funny.
often do you eat pasta? Expensive pasta per se.
Oh, like a costly pasta meal?
Like a costly pasta.
Oh, every chance I get.
Okay, so I've just immediately brought up two things that you do, and you think it was weird for me to ask why you wanted someone to know that you were. I didn't know.
I was like, wait, what weird stuff do I have? And now that you bring it up,
All
maybe
of
those
the
things
stuff.
feel a little weird.
You also cheated on your SATs.
I did not cheat on my SATs. I was a victim in a Lifetime movie where I was playing a 17-year-old despite the fact that I'm going great. And I'm
Great.
sensitive about it. I'm great. I'm kidding. I still do play 17 if there are any casting directors watching. I'm very young and nubile. I got it.
Can we cut this from the?
Classic.
So I think we need to get into your story now,
Yeah.
Kara. And I do want people listening and watching right now to know before we sat down to record this, Kara said my story is not good.
Yeah. When you're like, like every once in a while a friend will call you and be like, hey, come on my podcast and tell a story about school. And you're like, why does this keep happening to me?
Yeah. Well, sometimes I forget and I have to double text.
But then I was like, so I thought about like a more interesting story that I had.
Okay. Yeah. Is
but what if-
as interesting as going to a K through 2 only elementary school than stealing a packet of orange ranch sauce to prove your sister wrong for gaslighting you?
I think it's good in a different way.
Good in a
Or just bad.
Someone
Maybe
better
it's a
end
bad
up in a
story.
hospital.
Oh, God. Kind of.
Well, we gotta hear it now. Okay, what grade were you in for this?
Oh, this
story?
was in
This was in college. You were an adult making your own conscious decisions. Great start. I love
Yeah,
this.
this was my senior year of college, so it wasn't even like young, like I'm a freshman, whatever. I just thought of another horrible story from college. No.
Write it down, and then I'll have you on again. We can talk about all the horrible stories from college.
So I've always been also a great kid, as a student, and also young adult because I was an adult.
A delight to have in class.
Delight to have in class.
I don't think college teachers say that. I don't think that's like the thing professors write.
Professors.
Maybe
I
not
don't
to
think-
you.
Well, I barely went to school when I was in college.
You have to keep in mind, I went to theater school. So I went to UCLA, but like I was in the theater program and there are like 70 people each year and that's across all specialties. So there were like
Is that a lot? I went to an engineering school and there were only 6,000 students total in my entire school. So I don't know. Is 70 like a lot for?
No. 70 is very small,
So
especially
it was like
for
a select program. Like you had to be
Yeah.
really good at pretending to be someone else to get into this.
Yeah, like my brother is always like, what was it like to major in improv and have Drew Carey as your teacher? And I'm like, that's not what I did. But I did a lot of improv in college. Stop it.
Was Drew Carey your teacher?
No, I've never met him.
Do you want to?
Kind of. I mean, if the offer is available.
Oh, it wasn't an offer. I was just asking.
No.
Yeah.
He's here.
Like, what the heck?
Look under your seat. It's Drew Carey.
Why is he always doing that?
Dude.
So to get into this program, you had to be somebody that could one day maybe play like a 17-year-old in a Lifetime movie that was a victim for being accused of cheating on
Yeah,
their
exactly.
SATs, even though you were going great.
Great. Yeah. It was just a very selective, like you had to like do like 2 rounds of auditions and then 2 rounds of interviews as well as get into UCLA on top of it.
Have any famous people been through this program?
Oh, yeah. Jack Black was through it. Mariska Hargitay was actually the keynote speaker at my graduation for going through the program.
That was for everyone else. I, of course, knew all of these.
Yeah. Carol Burnett, maybe?
Every time you see a name, you out loud go, hey, they went to...
UCLA, yeah. Well, there's a lot of people, like famous people in general, who have been to UCLA because it's a huge school. But the ones who actually went through my program specifically is a much smaller number.
Right.
So when I meet people
Josh
from that,
Hartnett went to my high school. That's
Okay, I need to know, is this a name that I should pretend to know?
he was like a heartthrob in
Josh
the early
Hartnett?
2000s.
yeah.
40 Days
He
and
was
40
just in
Nights.
Oppenheimer. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was
Or
he?
that.
Oh, is he Cillian Murphy?
Yeah, he's Cillian Murphy.
Cool. I know him.
Josh
yeah.
Hartnett
That's
as
super
Cillian
cool.
Murphy as Oppenheimer.
Robert Oppenheimer.
Mhm.
Robbenheimer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway,
he's
go
been in
back
a
to
bunch of stuff. Black
Sorry.
Hawk Down was his big.
The only
Roll.
movie I could think of was 40 Days and 40 Nights, which is a bad movie about a guy who gives up sex for Lent and then I think ends up getting assaulted.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
I don't remember all the details.
What
of that,
were
but-
movies?
Yeah, but it was like a light. It was like a very playful.
Oh
assault.
yeah, we love assault.
Yeah, where
It's
he's
so
like, yeah.
silly. Guys, remember when we all went through silly assault? Remember?
Yeah.
You got tickled until it was uncomfortable. You
Uh,
got covered in a ranch.
that was his choice.
Well, it may have touched
That
some
was-
other students. I feel like you probably.
I don't think a ranch packet exploding and hitting another student counts as assault.
If
I'm-
I'm a middle-aged white woman with a bob haircut and you get ranch on me from an exploding ranch
Which you
packet,
are.
I'm yelling assault.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I am.
Mm-hmm.
So,
The
and
real
that
assault of
point,
that
it doesn't
haircut.
matter what it legally is. I've said it.
Okay. All right.
I will talk to the manager, maybe.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you were in college, senior at UCLA in a very elite, exclusive theater program that was taught by Drew Bartholomew Carey.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's just like just very small class sizes, especially for UCLA, and I don't even really remember which class this was at, but because it was the theater program, a lot of their classes were in basically black box theaters.
Sure.
So they would have like the rows of seats, but then there'd be like a seat or a stage and like a proscenium and
Mhm.
they had the little college style desk. So even though it was like in a theater, they had these little desks that would fold up.
Oh, okay. I was going to
And-
ask what a college style desk was, and it's basically just the AMC dine-in theater.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but with much worse service because no one will bring you anything in that class.
I'll be honest with you. Last time I went to an AMC dine-in theater, they did not bring me the food that I ordered. I love AMC. Please sponsor us. We'll cut that out.
And there was this one desk that was broken in this little
College
theater.
black box theater.
Yeah, of course.
Broken because it didn't have the thing, or like the seat would fall through.
It was the desk that would fold up.
Okay.
It just wouldn't stay up, and I always kind of sat in the same area of the classroom.
In proximity to danger.
Yeah. But
Did you know that one seat was broken?
Yeah, well, because I always sat there somehow, and even on days I was like, "Don't sit at that desk again." Like I would
Something
somehow
in you.
and yeah, there was
was
something
like-
that like drew me to that.
You
desk.
needed the
Called to
danger.
things that are broken. I think.
Yeah, it's your turn to be psychoanalyzed
Mhm,
now.
yeah.
And I feel like there's a couple things we could go on here. Do you like chaos or do you need it? I feel like,
I don't feel like I do, but I keep making bad choices.
and it all started at a broken desk in a UCLA black box
This is-
theater.
Mhm.
But so I always sat at this stupid desk that would always just kind of like end up falling in the middle of class.
So like
And,
the seat would just fall and you would fall down. Like
no,
to the
just the
floor?
desk would not stay up, and it would like kind of make a sound, but it wasn't like a huge deal.
Okay, like a
Yeah.
squeak or like a.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you'd have to like kind of pick it back
A
up.
squeak in a
You-
creek.
Yeah, just like a little squeak in a creek.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a slight. Yeah, and I didn't want to be disruptive, but you're trying to take notes. and
Nothing
the
is louder
desk-
than a small noise in a quiet classroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And here's the issue: is that I specifically went out of my way to not sit at that desk. I sat down. I sat at a desk. I tested it out, and I was like, I did it. Like I'm not sitting at this desk anymore. And class is about to start, and I'm like joking around with some other people in class. I have my binder out, my note page, and
Yeah, real fast time at Ridgemont High.
I've seen that. Gah. I don't get the reference.
You've never.
It's a movie.
We'll make a different reference. Very, very Breakfast Club.
Whoa, detention.
Oh no.
No, I've seen that one. You're gonna get the horns.
Please continue your story, Kara.
So I've got my binder out and I have my pencil and like I'm just joking around with some people and I drop my pencil on the ground.
Right.
And
And you weren't wearing leggings.
it probably was.
Oh no.
That's all I wore
Did
in
Colin
college.
know?
Did you touch me?
I didn't text you. Hey, we're wearing leggings today, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, you're in like voice and speech class and movement class and stage combat.
Yeah, it
so
makes sense to have the
you
active
don't wear
pants.
jeans.
Yeah. That would
Like,
make
and
sense.
it's not
would make
that
sense.
weird
Yeah.
to be like, hey, I'm not gonna wear jeans. I hope you know. Because also, I don't want, like, if we're like writing or like working on something and you come over and then all of a sudden I'm just like,
I hope you know this is going to be my new you cheated on your SATs for you.
is that like,
Every time I see you, I'm going to talk about how you had to tell Colin you were wearing leggings.
so he would know, and then he was like, oh,
I wouldn't freak out.
Right.
I would have freaked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, if Colin just showed up and went, whoa, Kara,
Whoa.
you have a lower half?
what the heck?
Incredible. What?
That's, yeah. Incredible.
Because you're a delight. You're a delight. You're like, what a delight.
I'm a delight. Yeah, it's a very
I'm a good
positive
boy.
freak out. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're
So
sitting
I-
at the desk that's not the broken desk.
Yeah, and I checked. I tested that shit. I dropped my pencil, and I'm like, oh man, and the desk is
Classic dork move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, you had to bop yourself on the forehead and go, oh,
I was like,
man.
oh no, my
Yeah,
pencil! What
out
am I gonna
loud.
do?
Way louder than the desk creaking, by the way.
Hey.
Oh, man.
Well, excuse me, everybody. I better go get this pencil. So I like.
the Cartoon Network dive, like an animated
Whoop,
character.
whoop, whoop.
Scrooge McDuck.
Yeah, into the pile of pencils.
But I go to go get my pencil, and I lean over the desk, and I put my weight on it, and that's when I realized that I'm
Oh
sitting at
my
the broken
God.
desk
Mhm.
because it collapses while I'm leaning.
Fully
on it.
collapses.
Fully collapses. I go forward. I hit my face in the chair in front of me.
Was there anyone sitting there?
No, but there was like someone sitting right next to it.
So their
So they
experience would have
definitely
been
like did the whole.
Like
Oh.
what? Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well,
All right.
and I hit
What
my
material were the chairs made out of?
It was like a-
plastic, metal, or wood?
wood, like
okay,
a big
so not
sturdy.
soft.
No. I'm
a
like,
hard chair.
oh man, that
Isn't that a
hurts
sweat
so
chair?
bad. And it made this huge sound. Everyone's like, oh my God, are you okay? But I'm like, I'm Kara. So I'm like, oh, this is weird.
Yeah, please stop acknowledging and perceiving
no,
my
no.
existence.
I'm fine. I'm
I'm a
fine.
delight. Please remember me as a delight.
I'm a good boy.
Yeah.
I'm BuzzFeed's Comedian of the Year. History remember me as a good student. I don't know.
Mhm, mhm.
But I'm covering my face. And then I'm like, oh man, uh-oh. And then the girl who's sitting right here, like as soon as I pulled down my hand, she's like,
Oh no.
and I'm like, what? And I look down and I'm bleeding.
Head injuries bleed a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So she ends up having to like basically take me to
The student that was there?
Yeah.
The professor, I'm sorry, Drew Bartholomew Carey didn't stop class when he noticed that a student was bleeding out of their face.
It was like right when class was starting. So the class hadn't officially begun, but the teacher was like getting their stuff together. Then I'm like,
yeah,
and then
and we
it's
know
like,
the classic college rule that if a student gets injured at like right at the beginning of class, where it's that weird gray area,
It's like not
you don't
my
have you don't have to worry about
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
First 15 minutes, I think, is the rule. If it happens the first 15 minutes, it's not your injury and you're not liable. So.
well, yeah. And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And everyone's like, you have to go to the doctor. You're bleeding from your face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh, fine. And then the girl was sitting in
And
front of
this
me
is
was
theater school, which that's very
like,
important.
yeah.
Well, yeah, you could have just claimed that it was like stage blood, I think.
Yeah,
And
well-
then you would have an A.
Well, and
A.
everyone is so dramatic, that it's just like,
in the
is this
drama
person-
class?
What? But so the girl who like was sitting in the row in front of me was like, no, like I'm gonna go with you. I'll walk you down to like the student center.
So the only person not being dramatic about it.
Yeah.
Thank God. And it's
And-
probably because she was worried that she got blood on her somewhere.
She might have just not wanted to be in class.
That's
Mm.
probably more accurate.
It's she probably just didn't want to go to that
Although
class.
in college, you never have to be in class if you
There
don't
were-
want.
Was
It-
this like a class where it was like if you missed 3, you
Was it-
lose a letter grade?
If you missed one class without a doctor's note, you lost a letter grade, and if you missed 3 classes, you were out of the program.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
And,
God.
My
like,
school
this is-
very different.
yeah, I would have.
Engineering school is in Colorado, and they were like, if you don't want to be here,
The only classes.
you'll just fail.
The only
Yeah.
class, because I engineering too, the only classes that I had that had a if you don't show up, you miss whatever
Mhm.
were not engineering class. They were like the English classes that I had to take like my freshman year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were like, if you don't show up to speech class and you miss it 3 days, you
No.
go auto F. And I was like, Listen,
Yeah.
Linda, I don't need this.
This is a very small, there were only 70 people per year, and that was across all specialties. So that included acting, musical theater, stage manager.
And so if you waste that
directing.
opportunity, you have to be punished on behalf of the students that didn't get it because they weren't good enough.
Yeah.
Because they do believe that they are.
Yeah, and
so that's how that works.
I think they even had some type of cut system where at the end of every year, if you weren't being there, they would cut you from the program.
And you'd get there'd be the on-call list or whatever of students that almost got in.
Well, no, they only accepted junior transfers. That was the only time available to come into the school. So it was a very, very small program.
Was there a shaming ceremony when you got cut?
Yeah, it was. Everyone had to line up with bells and.
No, but I actually wrote the dean about that multiple times, and they never followed up.
It's probably because you had blood on your face.
So much blood.
Yeah, it's really hard to take you seriously like that.
But anyway,
This girl, do you remember her name? The one that took you to the.
I think her name was Carrie.
Shout out Carrie. Oh, Carrie taking a student in school covered in blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really specific situation.
Mhm.
But
They should make a movie.
Someone should make a movie about
Call it Girl with Blood.
Yeah, set it in prom or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But she walked me down to the student center, and I think the weirdest part, because we wanted to make sure I didn't have a concussion because I hit my head really hard. They were doing some type of fundraiser in the quad area
And you
at
had to
UCLA.
walk through the quad.
I had to walk through the quad to get to where the medical center was.
If I'm part of the fundraiser, I'm and here's one of the victims now. This is why we need the money. Do you see? It's a plague upon our students.
Well, because if I just had my hand up like this, you couldn't tell anything was wrong. To the point where I couldn't even tell.
Besides,
Other than-
that girl has her hand up like that.
Yeah.
Which is
There's a
not
girl
normal
walking
thing to do.
quickly, covering her left eye with her hand and
Yeah.
looking kind of ashamed.
Yeah,
But she looks like she's about to lose a
Blood
letter grade.
oozing out
If she doesn't
between her
gonna get
fingers.
kicked out or
Yeah,
senior year.
if she doesn't get a doctor's note, it immediately she could lose a letter grade.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's what we're fundraising for.
But this fundraising group was playing the song Mbop by Hanson, which is a great song. But what they were doing was they were like, you know what? We're not going to turn this song off until we reach our goal. So they
it
were
was just
playing
a constant loop of
Mbop, doop da ba, Mbop, shibby da ba, Mbop. And I was sitting in this hospital, triage center. And we go there and they're like, I'm sorry, we have no appointments. We can't see you. And I was
and you're like, I can't see you either.
And I was like,
on account of my face injury.
because I was trying to check in and I pulled down my hand as soon as they said that.
Yeah.
And my eye was swollen shut and I was bleeding.
So literally,
Like
you
Rocky.
couldn't see them either.
yeah, I looked just like Rocky.
Did you ask them to cut you?
Yeah.
Call me Doc.
I can't.
I'm not gonna do that, Rock.
And then they were like, oh, and I could just because I really wasn't aware of what was happening because I was I just had hit my face on a desk.
Yeah,
So I
you were a
couldn't-
little disoriented.
I was super disoriented.
Mbop is playing loudly,
over and over, and I was like,
and over.
I think I might actually have a concussion.
Because none of this can be real. You walk
No.
into the hospital and they're like, sorry, we don't take walk-ins
And
for
then
injuries.
And then I
This
just,
is
Mbop
an
is
American hospital.
I mean-
we don't care for injured
but then they
patients
still
here.
charged me.
If we're being honest, completely within context here, you had every right to believe that none of this was real. You fell forward trying to get a pencil out of the chair that you made sure wasn't broken.
Yeah.
Broke it, hit your face on a chair, and then a theater student who knows if she misses class, she'd lose a letter grade, takes you across the quad where they are simply playing Mbop over and over. There's blood streaming down your face. You can't see out of your left eye. You get into a hospital and then sorry, we can't treat injuries here. None of this makes sense.
Oh yeah, and the worst part is I was like, maybe it's not that bad. I'm fine because I'm probably maybe in shock. And the second I pulled down my hand, the guy's like,
Oh no.
oh, we'll see you. And I'm like, that can't be good. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
Everything that's happened up to this point is just the end of a John Hughes movie.
Yeah.
I have a question about letter grades in theater school. You're a professional actor now.
Yeah.
How many times would you say you get asked for your GPA in an audition or with a casting director?
Before you answer that, general question: Do you have a degree?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, in what?
Engineering.
When was the last time anybody asked you for it?
Asked me for that.
Besides this,
For
right
like
now?
an internship, I would say.
Yeah, so
Yeah, on a
while you
resume.
were still in
Pretty
college,
useless, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it's every diploma for everything. Nobody will ever nobody's ever going to actually ask you to see it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why doctors hang them on the wall, because that's the only time people will ever ask to see it. If you put it on a resume that you just have it, nobody checks.
Well, nobody's actually
Legally,
asking.
don't do that
Yeah.
unless you want to.
I'm a good boy, so I'm not going to be doing that.
I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it never gets brought up at auditions.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Here's the thing about like auditioning. They don't
Care.
about school.
Absolutely.
Nobody cares about. They want you to be hot, and they want you to be a good actor.
And they want you to cheat on your essay. I mean, be a victim
Be a victim.
in a
If
Lifetime
you watched
movie.
that movie from my perspective, I was the one being bullied in it.
Uh-huh.
I haven't
For
seen
going
it.
great.
Sorry.
Don't watch it.
It's not.
Don't.
It's a great movie.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, basically how this story ends is that I end up having to get a bunch of x-rays on my face. And it turns out I fractured my orbital.
Yeah.
So I literally broke
you
my
broke your face.
Mm-hmm.
in
Falling
college,
out of a
trying to pick up a
desk
pencil.
chair in a black box theater in the UCLA selective theater. How does it make you feel knowing that you smashed your face and broke your face in front of Drew Bartholomew Carey?
He made a lot of jokes about it. Yes, I ended it pretty hard.
Yeah. Did it get brought up again?
Like me breaking my face?
Yeah, like in class? Did it,
No, nobody really
completely
cared.
ignored?
Mm.
Yeah, nobody cared. I don't
Did
think.
they make you play like Igor in the school's playing of Young Frankenstein?
No.
Mm.
Oh, the traditional
Yeah.
playing of Young Frankenstein that happens at every theater.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
Igor.
My apologies. Yeah. Wait, wasn't that on the other side?
Yeah.
The last question I have about this story.
Yeah.
So first of all, orbital bone fractures are fairly common
and it's
in
not that
contact
big of a deal.
sports,
Oh.
like boxing.
Or theater class.
Yeah. Well, if you don't take the stage like falling,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know how to hit the ground correctly, and there's a lot of fractures.
But I took a lot of stage combat
Honestly-
courses.
Way to keep your eye on the chair, though.
I
you
on
get
the
the-
prize.
Did you get the pencil?
That was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
What happened to the pencil?
I don't know.
There still might be a blood-covered pencil near a broken chair in a UCLA black box theater.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to disclose exactly how many years ago I graduated from college, but
Well, you're 17, so you're still in.
yeah, I'm actually about to go. I'm a
Yeah.
prospective student. This was actually on a guided tour of theater school, but yeah, I really hope that the pencil isn't there anymore.
Okay.
But you never really know.
If you were to tell me the theater, like the name of the theater, and like drew a diagram of the area where the pencil would be if it was still there, and I happen to have some friends that could get me on campus at UCLA, should I go?
I mean, I can take you there. UCLA isn't a closed campus.
You can just walk into the classrooms and stuff?
I mean, I don't know if they lock the theater building anymore, or like because it was
If
never
it's locked,
locked.
I can get in.
So I can just go and get a degree in theater, and no one's gonna check.
You
my
shouldn't,
GPA.
but you can. Yeah.
yeah. Just go. I mean, well, the program's so small that like they don't allow non-majors to even like audit or anything. So
Mm.
you would probably stick
They
out
would-
like a
yeah.
sore thumb, especially like in their undergrad program.
Or if I smash my head against.
yeah.
the
Specifically,
chair.
if you do
Yeah.
that, I feel like they'll be like, I think someone here doesn't belong.
Yeah. So there's a non-zero chance that someone in the class picked up the blood-covered pencil
They have your DNA.
and then cloned you.
Yeah. This is a start
I
of the
think
clone
you're
wars.
overestimating how much I bled during this because I definitely was bleeding,
Yeah.
but it wasn't a lot.
So it was
I'm
more, it
imagining
was an
how much-
internal fracture, not so much like a...
yeah. I mean, it did bleed, but like I wasn't like dripping blood.
Yeah.
You could only see it
You
when.
cupped it pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like
So
like
it wasn't like a packet of ranch in your pocket.
No,
exploding.
yeah, it didn't
I get it.
over
My
all of
story
the
isn't
books.
as good.
Yeah.
You didn't
No.
cover all the books and your sweatpants.
I didn't
not your hard
splooge
pants.
all over myself and all over a bunch of children and children's literature.
We don't know if it was children's literature.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it probably was.
There's probably a bunch of copies
It's a
of the
K through
Communist
2.
Manifesto.
Oh, my apologies. Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot it was a K through 2. I thought maybe there would be 3s in there.
Yeah.
There wasn't.
No.
Oh man. I have a quick one I can do, but either I can make it about getting in trouble or the time somebody had to go to a hospital when I was around.
Which one's better?
I feel like the getting in trouble story is way funnier.
Okay, let's do that one.
Yeah. And it was also like a thing where we should have gotten in trouble, but ego saved the day. And this was in basic. So I was in basic training at the time. And this was like a few weeks in, probably like week 6 or so. And so we all knew like the schedule and the rules and all that. Right. And so we are about to bed down. All lights go off and it's an open bay. There's 44 guys in here. And at one end of the bay is an office, and that's where our drill sergeant stays. And there's a thing called CQ. CQ just means the one drill sergeant of the 12 total stays for 24 hours. So everyone else gets to go home and rest.
Okay.
But so our guy was on CQ, so he had to be there for the full 24 hours. So if anything, we were the group that had to behave because he was going to be around us the most. And we were in our bunks. Lights just went out, so there's still like a little creaking and whatever. And drill sergeant starts making his rounds. He's got to go to all the other 3 rooms to check to make sure that those. I keep wanting to say kids. They were in their most of them were in their 20s. Like 18 was like the.
They don't
youngest.
let kids into the military.
Well, 17-year-olds are allowed in some states because you can sign up at your junior year of high school and then go to. No, different. So you can sign up for the actual military, like you're at the end of your junior year of high school, go to basic over that summer, come back, and then do your senior year. And then after your senior year, you get to go to your advanced training and all that.
I have to learn so much in order to just understand the story you're about to tell.
I think I've pretty much covered it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, because
none of that was important. I just wanted to preface that I keep trying to call these adults kids in my story for some reason. But so it's just a bunch of guys. The beds are still like creaking. We had bunk beds, so it was like stacks of 2, so 44 of them, whatever. And lights just went out. We're all quiet. There's still some creaking. Drill sergeant walks out of his office, checks with the desk, and is like, "Okay, cool, leave." So he's gone. And this was like well into basics. So we were all fairly like beat down and tired and stuff. And one guy yells out in the middle of the night, right as like the bed stopped creaking. He goes, "Hey, what's a pirate's favorite letter?" And we all laugh just at that because it's such a bizarre thing to hear in that context. And after everyone stops giggling, someone else yells out, "Arr!" And we laugh. It's the funniest thing we had heard up to that point in our entire lives, probably. But only because it shouldn't have been funny and none of this should be happening. And we are adults that were trained how to shoot guns. And now someone's making a dumb pirate joke in the middle of the night. And everyone laughs. It's really funny, like full on like belly laughs. Like somebody almost fell out of their bunk. And then right after everyone calms down, the laughter is stopped. Beds go back to creaking a little bit, and then dead silence. The perfect timing. The first guy that started this yells out, "Ha! You thought it'd be the R, but it's actually the C." And we all lost our minds. It was absolutely like to this day, given the rest of my life's context, it is probably the funniest thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Multiple people fell out of their beds because there's not room. If you move at all, like you're off the bed. Kids would roll, fall. Adults, full-grown adults. Kids would roll and fall. Like
baby.
People were on the ground still laughing. Like just people were banging on stuff. Like it was 44 guys laughing as hard as they've ever laughed in their lives.
This is interesting because I heard that the Soviets developed this this way to immobilize American troops through
I can't
popsicle
imagine
stick
where
jokes.
this goes.
And yeah, that's so.
Is this real?
No. I mean, we don't know. They could
Listen,
have.
you said it was so much gumption, and it was. I never questioned what things
like-
the Soviets
Okay,
they did some weird. They brainwashed goats and stuff,
I
dude.
mean,
like
there was a weird. I think it was like a Monty Python sketch where like this guy created the funniest joke in the world and laughed so hard that he
yeah, that
died.
sounds very familiar.
And then they had to like get 10 people to translate this joke into like German or something so they could read it in German to kill the other soldiers. I think it was a Monty Python joke.
That's a very fun premise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so
And Colin
this is
just
where
stole it.
this is where it starts to get a little bit dangerous. Maybe isn't the right word, but at this point we're about to be like, oh, we're all about to get smoked because we're laughing so loud. The drill sergeant busts through the door. There's like a school cafeteria double push the thing to open it, and that's where the drill sergeants would go to connect all the bays. And the door gets kicked open. There are still people on the ground, but it's night. It's dark. You can't necessarily see that they're on the ground. And at that moment, everyone tries to go dead silent. And nothing is funnier than when you can't laugh. And so the drill sergeant busts through the door. Guys are on the ground laughing. Everyone goes dead quiet. There's still people are choking to not the people are coughing. There's going on. And this drill sergeant yells out, "Hey, what the fuck's so funny?" And it's dead quiet. And then somebody goes, "We're so sorry. You're very funny, drill sergeant." And he goes, "Yeah, I fucking know," and then just stormed back into his office and closed the door. And we were like, what the fuck just happened? He was so happy that a bunch of dudes thought he was funny.
Oh.
That he didn't care that we were all...
He needed a win.
They all do. It's the military.
So in his mind, he was like, my presence here is very hilarious.
Yeah, he thought that him kicking the door down and going, "Hey, what the fuck's so funny?" was the funny thing. And we were like, "It's you." And he's like, "I know."
What's his name? Because we've shouted out every
Drew.
other person.
No, I had
Drew Bartholomew.
Drew
I had
Bartholomew Terry.
3. One of them was very quiet, one of them was very mean, and one of them very much. The other thing, now that I'm thinking about who it was, he probably just didn't care enough to smoke us, and just he also wanted to sit down. Is Drill Sergeant Vonner. I know.
Shout out to Drill Sergeant Vonner.
Yeah. I actually messaged him on Facebook a little bit ago. Check in on him. He's doing well.
Oh.
I'll probably message you after this. I don't know what to call you anymore. I've only ever referred to him as Drill Sergeant Vonner. I don't think he's a drill sergeant, and he's definitely not mine.
Well, now you're just a silly guy.
Yeah, but I don't want to call him by his first name. It's like when you leave school and you're like, I still can't call you Leah.
I went to a school where we didn't call teachers by their last name.
Yeah, same here. Longfellow, K through 2, first names.
Gateway School, Santa Cruz. First names.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm learning something about me or Florida or you guys.
I think it's unusual to call your teacher by your first name. So I think
Yes.
these were unusual schools
so
that
you guys are
were more
weird.
casual.
Yeah.
Got it. All right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because also in theater school, you don't call your teachers by their... I mean, there were a couple that you'd be like, oh, that's Professor so-and-so, but most of the teachers were like,
Yeah.
oh, that's April and Scott and Adele and Marilyn.
Yeah.
You know?
Adele?
Yeah.
Givens?
No.
Just Adele.
Cabot.
So anyway, yeah, he said that, and then at that point we were so relieved that we weren't about to have to wake up at whatever time it was to go outside and do push-ups until we bled. And the joke was still very funny. And then that was also funny. So then we just laughed even more. And he just never left his office. But I think he was just tired and he did not want to do it. Because Drill Sergeant Vonner at a different time, we were out at FTX. We were just in the woods doing a training exercise. And I was off to the side. Everyone was lining up for food. And I was the one that had to count to make sure everyone was there. And I think it was Coble Coble is his last name. He made a really dumb face to me, just like he made a silly face at me, and I chuckled at it because nothing should be happy that's going on right now, and it was, and it made me smile. And then Drill Sergeant Vonner saw that and came right up to me like nose to nose and was like, "What are you smiling about?" And I was like, "I can't rat out my friend." And so I was like, I just so happy to be here, Drill Sergeant. And he goes, "Bullshit. What are you smiling about?" And I was like, "It's a great day to be outside, Drill Sergeant." And he's like, "Listen, if you don't fucking tell me right now what's so funny, I'm going to make you low crawl this entire field." And it was like probably 2 football fields. And low crawl means you have to be like belly to ground. Like you don't, not hands and knees, like forearm and thighs.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks. And he's like, "I'm going to make you low crawl this whole field if you don't tell me what the fuck's so funny right now." And I looked over at Coble, who was still in line, and he like looked over at me and I went, "Coble made a funny face, Drill Sergeant." And he's like, "Oh, did he?" And he called Coble over, and Coble walked up, and Drill Sergeant went, "Yeah, Coble got a funny face. I see that." And it walked away. He was my favorite for sure. But anyway, I think that's all the time that we have today. So thank you guys so much for coming on and sharing your silly, silly stories about your super weird schools. I appreciate that.
They're normal for us.
Yeah, well, that goes pretty far these days, I hear. If anyone wants to find you guys after this podcast, where can they go?
For me, go to @LittleVictorianBoy on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube.
And I'm at Karalynn Dunton on all the same platforms.
Do you want to spell that so that people know?
You thought you'd never ask. My name is spelled KaralynNDunton.
That was very pronounced.
Yeah, well, because I have to do it on the phone, and Karalynn sounds like 100 other names, and Dunton sounds like Dutton, which is a much more common last name.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be very specific.
Oh, no, I get it. My last name is Brainerd.
Yeah.
And it's not spelled.
Talk about a nerd, am I right?
Yeah, that's the thing. There's not even E. It's not nerd, it's nard.
Nard.
Do you guys have any projects, any big things that coming up that you are excited about that you want people to know about?
Big things. We're doing a lot of collabs with Austin Archer that are coming out on all the social media things.
Social medias, yeah.
They're great little sketches. And
you guys got a little
fun
group going, and I can vouch. Very funny stuff. I've liked the stuff that's come out so far. So if you're not already following Little Victorian Boy and Karalynn Dunton on all the social medias, make sure to do that. They're also working with another good friend of mine, Austin Archer, on a bunch of collaborative sketches and stuff. So it's a lot of fun. You should check them out. Thanks for stopping by. Welcome back. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. If you really like the episode and you want to support the show, we have merch. You can check out the PodClass President merch. You can also sign up for my email list. You can check out my other merch, the table merch. We have flamingo bucket hats on sale now. You can check out the Discord as well. There's going to be a channel in the Discord where I'm going to share pictures and videos that are related to the stories that we talk about on each episode, so make sure you check that out. You can see all of that and more just by going to my website, benbrainerd.com. So be sure to check that out. And we will see you next week. Bye.